Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Back with another banger for y'all. Welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Watts. I'm your host, Watts. And we're back. I told you, I'm cooking up for y'all. Can't stop, won't stop. Well, actually, maybe I shouldn't say that. But furthermore, I have another top five for y'all because y'all made it pretty clear that y'all enjoy the top fives. So let's do another one. This one is entitled Five WWE Superstars Who Should Be Next Up for the United States Championship. And this one right here, this allows us to kind of go deep in our little arsenal, discuss, talk. First of all, if you're new here, if you like what you hear, like and subscribe, engage, comment. I reply to most of the comments, to be completely honest. I want to reply to all of them, but I definitely reply to the vast majority of comments. So definitely tap in. First and last time listeners, I appreciate you guys as well. So without further ado, let's begin. Number 5, Santos Escobar. And don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying LA Knight's championship runs thus far. He's been having good matches. He's been consistent. They've been letting him defend the championship. So, truth be told, there's no problems with the championship reign overall. I'm just, a forward thinker, so I'm looking into the future already. So, Santos Escobar, I feel like he would be a good heel champion because he was a good cruiserweight champion when he was in NXT. He held the championship. He had great matches. Once he took his mask off, he went heel, and then he started using underhanded tactics, and then he formed his faction with Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro and stuff like that, and they ran roughshod over NXT for the most part, up until he got called up to the main roster, and then they switched things up, and so on and so forth. I say all of this to say that typically I just enjoy heel championship reigns more than I do face championship reigns, depending on who's holding the championship. I feel like not every championship reign has to be a long one. Some of them could be short, sometimes, at least if history serves us correct. I feel like the short championship reigns and them playing hot potato with championships and just being willing to crash out for a specific title, we need more of that. Like when we saw Booker T and John Cena going back and forth, best I think 3 out of 5 or something like that, type of match. Well, we saw that back in 2004 between them two, and it felt different. Like I need that type of energy when it comes to my championships. I need my champions and I need my challengers to be willing to crash out for the championships. And I feel like with Santos Escobar, with Humberto and Angel Garza and Elektra Lopez by his side, I feel like we'll get that. We'll get that energy with him holding the championship. It won't hurt. It don't even have to be a long reign. It could be a short reign. But Santos Escobar is definitely due for some championship gold on the main roster, if you ask me. I don't know. I won't be mad if it happens. Moving on. Number 4, Montez Ford. A lot of people might like this. A lot of people might not. But I feel like more people are going to like this than not. Because at the end of the day, I've made plenty of videos about this in the past. But Montez Ford is ready. He's ready to step out and do his own thing. I don't know whether it's, because I heard something about Bianca saying that he just doesn't want to leave Angelo Dawkins, which I could understand because, we all know that's typically what happens with tag teams is when they break up, one will go on to either A, superstardom, or have a very moderate type of run, and then the other guy kind of falls by the wayside. But I feel like at this point, Angelo Dawkins is good enough to spread his wings and do his own thing. At first, when they wasn't allowing him to really show his ring work or his personality outside of the ring, it was a little different. It was a little like, all right, like, he might end up, becoming just like an enhancement talent type guy. But we've seen in the past that Angelo Dawkins can hold his own. I say all of this to say that Montez Ford has been due for a singles push. And Everybody says that he has star potential. I believe that he has star potential as well. And I personally feel like it won't hurt to give him a United States Championship run. See how it feels, give it an opportunity, give it a shot just so that we can see, the United States Championship is prestigious, but it's not as prestigious as one would say an Intercontinental Championship is. So there's not that much of a loss by giving him a championship run and seeing how he do with it. And if he does good, he can hold the championship for a while, probably drop the title, then win it back, and then possibly go for the world championship and be in the main event scene. Because at the end of the day, Bianca and Montez is a power couple waiting to happen. And it should happen. It should have already happened, to be completely honest, when Montez Ford did the Elimination Chamber match and he showed out. All people was talking about at the end of that match was, Montez Ford is the one. He up next, this and that. And then nothing came out of it. And I'm still upset till this day about it. I feel like a lot of people, along with you guys, are upset about it because we want this. The world wants this. The fans want this. So whenever I hear certain things about Triple H saying, I don't see color, I go for the best, it's like, well, yeah, you might have a point there in some capacity, but you don't. Because at the end of the day, Montez Ford and the single push is right there. It's right there. All you have to do is just make it happen. You have the power to do it, Hunter. Do the right thing. Do the right thing and give Montez Ford a singles push. We want it, and I will not settle for anything less. What are we doing? They're in a tag team, and they're not even winning the championships. They haven't won a championship in 3 years. Pack it up. It's over. Let them split through the draft or just amicably split. And they don't have to turn on each other. They can still have each other's back. Just let them both go for their own championship goal. That's it. Let's move on. Number 3, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens hasn't won a singles championship in God knows how long. I think he hasn't won a singles championship since 2019 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 2019 when he was the United States champion and he was prize fighter Kevin Owens. He was, I think he shaved his beard. He just randomly came out and he just looked funny. He was funny looking because he shaved his face. But I remember that. And he hasn't won a championship or singles championship in that long. One could make a case that a guy like Kevin Owens doesn't necessarily need a championship to be great, because he's proven that time and time again that, just him being an ass kicker, being a crash out, or just being a monster heel, it's all you really need, But at the end of the day, I feel like Kevin Owens being a heel champion would be cool because we get the ass kicker, but we also get the disrespect. You don't deserve this championship, and you don't deserve this championship. I'm going to be the one for a long time. A certain level of cockiness that we haven't really seen from Kevin Owens in a while. We've seen Justified Hill Kevin Owens. We've seen, you mean to tell me nobody else sees this but me? Kevin Owens, when he was going back and forth with Elias' brother. We seen face Kevin Owens, the ass kicker that just don't settle for anything but what he should be given or whatever, or just he just doesn't settle for disrespect, for lack of a better term. We've seen that, but we haven't seen championship KO in a while. So, at the end of the day, he's not getting the world championship anytime soon. So, it would make sense to have him be in a feud with a LA Knight. I feel like those promos would go crazy, and I feel like they would have good matches. So why not give him a run with the championship? Like I said, these championship runs don't have to last that long. It could be a month. It could be 2 months. Not every championship reign has to be 6 months or more. We could just play hot potato with the championship. That's what they did in the Attitude Era. They did that. They did that with the World Championship in the Attitude Era. They used to really crash out for them championships. So, why not? Add an element of surprise. Why not? Moving on. Number 2, Carmelo Hayes. And personally, I think Carmelo Hayes should be the next guy to win the championship after LA Knight. He should drop the championship to Carmelo Hayes, and then we could continue this rivalry because I feel like this is a generational rivalry that they're doing as of right now with Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Like, they're really doing the damn thing. Like, I haven't seen a bad match between these two, and I'm always so amazed by how wrestlers are able to call matches on the fly and just really cook up, especially when there's a language barrier. Like, Andrade, he knows how to speak English and he understands English, but his translations aren't really the best. He's gotten a lot better from like his first run in WWE versus now, where like they needed Zelina Vega to like translate for him and stuff. And he's gotten a lot better since, like, he married Charlotte and stuff, and she's probably teaching him a few things too. But truth be told, I really like the dynamic that they got going on. Like, they say the terminology wrestling soulmates. Well, them two, Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, they definitely have something going on. And I feel like the easiest way to continue this feud, have Carmelo Hayes somehow beat LA Knight, and then have Andrade go, well, I beat you 3 times, so, naturally I should be the next one in line. I didn't put Andrade on this list only because I feel like he's a better champion if he's a heel, personally. Like, I like his face run right now, but he's definitely a better champion as a heel if history serves us correct. But Carmelo Hayes, he's going to be a star. In the next couple of years, he'll definitely be in that main event scene. I see it already. He's not the greatest person when it comes to promos, but he's pretty damn good. And I feel like what's going to happen more than likely, even though I don't want it to stunt his momentum, but more than likely, naturally, Trick Williams gets called up to the main roster. And I wouldn't be mad at them getting a tag team title run before they both go singles and just, do their own thing and become their own stars in their own right. But yeah, Carmelo Hayes, he's my pick if there was no number 1 pick. You know what I'm saying? So let's move on. In the number 1 spot, the number 1 spot goes to Solo Sikoa. And I might get BS from this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Solo Sikoa, mainly because I feel like none of this really means anything if Solo don't end up winning a championship of some sort, a singles championship. He and a horn is honking outside, and for people who are already acclimated to this, what I do, I'm by the window, and yeah, I live in New York City, so please ignore that. But I feel like this entire Solo Sikoa run needs to end in a championship, the United States Championship. And the most logical thing to do is have LA Knight drop the title to Solo Sikoa. I mean, some might call it a consolation prize, but at the end of the day, we all know that he's not ready to win the championship just yet. There's a lot of steps that he has to cross first before he becomes a world championship contender. Like, I like that he's holding his own against Roman Reigns and a lot of vets and a lot of guys that's really cold with it and already established themselves. But I feel like what's eluding him now is a championship, because all we've seen from Solo Sikoa is a lot of bragging. A lot of I'm the real tribal chief, but he's getting his ass handed to him every match when it comes to Cody Rhodes, when it comes to anybody else that's not, I guess, Jimmy Uso or something like that, because he beat Jimmy Uso and he beat John Cena, but at the end of the day, I think that a championship run would be the icing on the cake. And then, hell, they can even go as far as to have him be United States champion and then have Jacob Fatu turn into the guy who might potentially be the threat to beat him. We could go with that. That might be fly too. Who knows? But I'm giving Solo Sikoa the number 1 spot because I feel like that would make the most sense. After, like, you challenge for the championship, the world championship, and you don't win, Typically, it makes the most sense to give you the mid-card championship and then let you run roughshod with that division. And then possibly we can revisit this. And then maybe at that time, he'll be ready to go on to greener pastures and possibly, hey, after the bloodline thing is over, go to Raw and win the World Heavyweight Championship. Who knows? But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Talk to me. Like I said, I'm personable. I'm not hard to reach. Let's chop it up about some wrestling stuff. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.